with them all day. What's up, guys? I'm taking you to school on the supplements you should be taking to take care of your immune system. This is a video that is a second release to the first video talking about what kind of workout split can I be doing right now during this coronavirus time if I'm quarantined, possibly at home, possibly in a private gym. If you haven't seen that, here's a short clip. So the workout, you could call it a total body workout, but again, it's just a systemic style workout that's giving demand to your entire body every single workout, but not digging too much of a hole to where you couldn't literally do this multiple times in a week, which is the goal. Okay, let's talk supplements. Contrary to what you might believe is going to come here, I'm not going to prescribe a whole lot of new supplements to you. Probably stuff you've already heard of. Secondarily, they're probably not going to be the holistic style supplements that you're used to hearing for boosting your immune system. What we need to realize first is that your immune system is going to be getting taxed every day without the presence of this airborne virus going on right now. And especially for most of the audience that I'm talking to out there, you're trying to train. So realize that on a normal everyday thing, if this crazy hysteria wasn't going on, your immune system would need to be taken care of anyway. And the reason why is because training, aggressive training, working out in general is very taxing to your immune system. It beats it up. It beats up your adrenal glands and things of that nature because of the trauma that you're putting onto your body. So you should already be having a plan of what can you do to make sure that your immune system isn't getting too burdened. So the bonus point before we get into the supplements is just make sure that you're not doing so much training. You're not working out literally every single day so much right now that you can't recover from it, because that right there alone could be the subtle change that you make where you don't need all of these crazy supplements. But just for the sake of some kind of sexy video and for talking about a topic that can be cool for most of you, I don't like it, but I want to give you guys some just easy information to apply. Let's talk about the 5 supplements that I would use right now during this coronavirus time period. The first one, fish oil. Fish oil, for most of you guys out there, okay, is a great everyday supplement that I would advise having in all the time. The main reason is there's all kinds of great research, there's all kinds of great, in-person results that you see of people having good control over just, the general term of inflammation. It does a pretty exceptional job of repairing cell membranes, which is very, very important, especially if you need your cells to be working for you at a high rate of recovering from training, recovering from a lack of sleep, recovering from stress in your job, things of that nature. How would I dose this right now? Well, probably a little higher than normal. So typically for men right now, I would recommend up to 2 grams per meal. So that could be as high as 12 grams a day, which is a lot, but it's for this short time period, and then you can take it down literally into half if need be. For women, it's half of that. So 6 grams a day, 1 gram on average per meal is a pretty safe place to be where you're going to be getting a lot of benefit from that fish oil. Number 1. Now, number 2. The second one would be some form of a chelated elemental magnesium. Okay, what that means is it's a bunch of good, usable, bioavailable magnesium ingredients that will go to multiple purposes in the body. Realize that the number one thing that majority of us are very malnourished in is magnesium. Okay, we don't seem to be getting enough minerals on a day-to-day basis, which leads to a weak immune system. So although we could argue that this is not an immune boosting product, it is an essential mineral that most of you guys are missing out on, at least at the dosages that you need every single day. So what I would advise is possibly 75 to 150 milligrams in at least 3 of your meals. If you're training, you want to make sure that you're getting a hefty dose of that post-training. Again, 75 milligrams, 150 milligrams on average would be very, very good. That's number 2. Number 3, theanine. Again, not a product that you would say, oh my gosh, this is for boosting my immune system. And arguably, it's not. It's just an amino acid, but it is a very powerful one at that. And the reason why is it does a pretty awesome job of managing stress. I think it does an exceptional job of managing neurological stress, specifically stress coming from the gut. So about 70% of your nerves are going directly into your stomach of the body. It's pretty scary, right? So if I am consistently like an agitated person through the day, I could be adding a lot of undue stress not only to my body, but also to my stomach. And think about this, we're just shoveling food in our mouth all day long, no matter what. And if I already have a stressed out stomach, and if my body is continually stressed all day long, what do you think that's going to do to my immune system? It's going to tax it. And again, we don't want to overburden it. For those of you guys that are training all the time, the benefit of theanine is, especially post-training, does an exceptional job of just calming you down systemically. I think it's an awesome, awesome product. So in this time, what would I recommend? 200 to 400 milligrams all day long. If that makes you a little sleepy, or if it makes you feel like your brain just isn't functioning at the level that you want it at, you can back off the dose or the frequency of the dose. For me personally, I like to take a big whack of it post-training, so 400 to 600 milligrams. I think that's awesome. It works well for me, and I still function at a high level throughout the rest of the day. And then usually with my last 2 meals, I'll take the same dose, somewhere between 400 to 600 milligrams. And women, it's about almost that high for some women, depending on what your brain type is. If you're a type A person, a little higher. You tend to be a pretty laid back person, maybe a little lower. So that is number 3. Number 4, I would suggest just a vitamin C. However, the problem with just your typical vitamin C is it can be very acidic, so it can upset your stomach. It can cause undue diarrhea, and that is stress that we don't want. We want to get the benefit of vitamin C. Vitamin C has a pretty exceptional ability to help kind of recharge your adrenal glands after they've been taxed, which is why I love it post-training. Sometimes even pre-cardio, just so that I'm not burning those adrenal glands out. What I would suggest, instead of getting your typical over-the-counter vitamin C, is finding a buffered vitamin C. This tends to not be quite so acidic. It tends to not give that side effect of unwanted diarrhea or stomach distaste, okay? And you can take it in high dosages, kind of like you need to be doing right now without those bad side effects. So what would I be doing now? Well, for women in general, I would suggest up to maybe 6 grams daily. For men, somewhere between 10 to 12 grams daily is what I would prescribe, just in my opinion, okay? That's just coming off of a lot of experience with a lot of beat up clients over the year who do battle with their immune system. So again, the importance of that vitamin C is that it's doing something to help manage stress, especially around the time when you are stressed, so training or pre-bed, okay, when you need to go to sleep and recover from that whole day of stress, which aids in that immunity, okay? So make sure that you're involving vitamin C at some part of your day, but it just needs to be buffered, in my opinion. The last one, pretty groundbreaking information so far, right? The last one is curcumin. And you want to make sure you have a good source of curcumin, because you want the dosages of that curcumin to be accurate. So curcumin essentially is a spice, but it's a spice that helps, with systemic inflammation. Again, it's just a general term of inflammation. The thing that we argue as bodybuilders is that you shouldn't be taking too much curcumin because it can impede the inflammatory response needed for muscle building, for this muscle protein synthesis, that promotes hypertrophy. Now, I don't necessarily get too caught up in that, especially as years go by. However, curcumin has a great ability, and it has all kinds of research showing that there's tons of help that's closely related to managing inflammation, so that it doesn't have an adverse effect on insulin levels or blood sugar levels, which is super, super important. Because if you're a person walking around in everyday life and your blood sugar is naturally higher, if it's over 100 all day long, that's not a good thing. That's going to tax your immune system. That's going to tax your adrenal glands. It's going to tax your nervous system. So we don't want that, okay? So again, we want to do everything we can for our body to be in this state of yang, where we're not systemically overburdened. And the only time we want to be in this state of yin is when we need to have that fight or flight response, which is really during our training, or in this case, if we're trying to fight something airborne that may be trying to attack our system. So curcumin is probably one of the best products out there for that. I think it's an awesome product. I live and die by it. It's never out of my regimen. And right now, I just bump it up a little bit. So for guys, you may be taking somewhere between 3,500 to 5 grams a day. Then if you want to be really specific, just keep it away from your training time window, you know, no closer than 90 minutes post-training, especially if you guys are still trying to have some kind of hypertrophy, or some kind of protein synthesis going on right now. For ladies, about half that dose. So nowhere close to, like 3 grams would be something I would recommend. 1,500 milligrams to 3 grams would be the recommended dose. I prefer to have a little bit in the morning. I prefer to have a little bit mid-afternoon, and I prefer to have a lot at night. If you take too high of a dose to where your body can't synthesize what's being put in it, again, a side effect may be that you get some loose stool, some diarrhea. And if that's the case, just back off of it. You have 2 options then. You can just use a lower dose and be okay with that, or you can start at a lower dose and try to taper up over the course of several days. Both options will work, both are okay, but some people can absorb more than the next person. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. You just need to make sure you're doing what works for you. So that right there is my top 5 products that I suggest, and it's just my opinion, you should be including right now in your regimen to kind of boost your immune system so that we're not all getting sickly. We all want to be healthy. We want to be making sure that we're doing all we can to keep everyone healthy. So, do your due diligence of praying for everybody. And also, in the case of what I'm trying to do right now, is just use your skill set to give back and give free information so that everybody can do everything they can to protect themselves and especially their loved ones around them. Okay, stay tuned for more information as I think of it. And if you guys have any questions, health related, training related, exercise related, please ask away. And if you feel like this is helpful, somebody would gather some kind of benefit from it, please share it, because that's the only way that this knowledge is going to get spread. Okay, take care.